You booked Mexico for your family because the photos looked perfect. What the photos did not show was the resort 3 blocks from active cartel territory. The beach with a water quality flag that has been red for 2 consecutive seasons. We ranked all 15 Mexican resorts worst to best, using crime data, water quality reports, traveler incident records, and healthcare access times. Number 15 is the most dangerous family booking mistake in Mexico. Number 1 is the only resort on this list that passed every single family safety test without exception. Here is what you need to know before you book. Number 15. Barceló Carmina Palace, Manzanillo, Colima. Manzanillo sounds like a dream destination. Pacific coastline, fishing village character, a bay that John Huston put on the map in the 1960s with The Night of the Iguana. The Barceló Carmina Palace is a genuinely impressive physical property within that setting. Large rooms, well-maintained pools, a beach that photographs beautifully. The problem begins at the state level. Colima State has carried a U.S. State Department Level 4 Do Not Travel designation. That is the highest possible advisory level. The same designation applied to active conflict zones. The designation reflects cartel territorial violence that has made Colima one of the most dangerous states per capita in Mexico for over 5 consecutive years. The resort's security perimeter is real and professionally managed, but the infrastructure surrounding it runs through the security environment that generated the Level 4 designation. The roads to the airport, the routes between the resort and any off-property destination, all of it. For families with children, the calculus here is straightforward. No resort experience, however excellent, justifies placing your family inside a Level 4 Do Not Travel zone. Healthcare access compounds the concern. The nearest facility with pediatric emergency capacity is Hospital General de Manzanillo, approximately 20 minutes from the resort. For serious pediatric emergencies requiring specialist care, transfer to Guadalajara means a 4-hour drive. Through the security environment, the State Department has designated at its highest risk level. For families with children under 12, there is no version of this calculation that works. The next resort sits in a more stable security environment, but it carries a problem that no security upgrade can ever resolve, because the danger here is not on the streets. It is in the water itself. Number 14. Hard Rock. Hotel Vallarta, Nuevo Vallarta, Nayarit Hard Rock. Hotel Vallarta markets itself as the premium rock and roll all-inclusive experience on Mexico's Pacific coast. The property is visually impressive. The entertainment programming is genuinely strong. The beach is long, wide, and maintained to a standard that matches the brand's premium positioning. But Banderas Bay, the body of water the resort fronts, has documented water quality issues that the resort's marketing materials do not address. COFEPRIS, Mexico's Federal Commission for Protection Against Sanitary Risk, has recorded bacterial contamination levels at specific Banderas Bay beaches that exceed safe swimming standards during certain periods. Those periods correlate with heavy rainfall events that overwhelm the drainage infrastructure of the rapidly developed communities surrounding the bay. For families with children, bacterial contamination in swimming water is not an abstract concern. Children spend more time in water than adults. They are more likely to ingest water during swimming. Their immune systems respond to waterborne bacterial exposure more acutely than healthy adults. A child who spends 3 days swimming in contaminated water is not having a vacation. They are having an illness incubation period that produces symptoms on the flight home. Jalisco State, which covers the greater Puerto Vallarta area, also carries a Level 3 reconsidered travel designation from the U.S. State Department. For senior travelers, the concern compounds. The nearest private hospital with cardiac emergency capacity is in Puerto Vallarta proper, not in Nuevo Vallarta. A 30-minute transfer under normal conditions, significantly longer during peak traffic. If the information in this series is genuinely changing how you think about family travel safety, subscribe right now. This channel publishes resort breakdowns, destination safety rankings, and family travel intelligence every week, the kind that booking platforms have no financial interest in sharing before you commit. Subscribing means you will not encounter the next dangerous resort without this level of advance warning. Hit subscribe now and let us keep going. The next resort carries no water quality concerns. Its problem is more immediately financial, and the specific mechanism by which it extracts money from families who thought they had already paid for everything is one of the most documented complaints in Mexican all-inclusive travel. Number 13. Riu Palace Cabo San Lucas, BCS. Riu Palace, Cabo San Lucas positions itself as a diamond category all-inclusive at the southern tip of the Baja Peninsula. The property's architecture is grand. The pools are large. The Los Cabos setting delivers the dramatic Pacific scenery that the brand uses as its primary marketing image. The all-inclusive designation, however, covers less than most families assume when they arrive. Several of the property's specialty restaurants require dinner reservations released in limited quantities each morning. Families who do not secure those reservations by 8 in the morning are relegated to the main buffet for every meal. The main buffet at peak capacity operates under crowd conditions that parents of young children consistently describe as exhausting rather than relaxing. Beyond the upsell mechanics, the Los Cabos corridor carries a specific safety concern that applies to every property in the zone. The Pacific-facing beaches adjacent to the resort are not safe for swimming. The shore break and rip current conditions generated by the corridor's coastal geography have caused drowning deaths annually. The Rio Palace's beach is a photography beach, not a swimming beach. For families with children whose primary expectation involves swimming in the ocean, the Los Cabos corridor is structurally misaligned with that expectation, regardless of the resort's quality and other dimensions. The next resort has genuine ocean swimming available. Its problem is something far more serious that the brand has been managing with public relations rather than resolution. Number 12. Grand Palladium, Costa Mujeres Resort, Costa Mujeres, Quintana Roo. The Grand Palladium, Costa Mujeres opened in 2018 as part of the rapid development of the Costa Mujeres corridor, north of Cancun. The property is new, well-designed, and positioned as a premium family destination. A water park, multiple pools, and a beach zone that fronts genuinely clear Caribbean water. The concerns here are not about the physical property. They are about the road between the resort and civilization. Costa Mujeres is connected to the Cancun hotel zone by a single access road. During peak traffic periods, and particularly following any event that closes or slows the highway, that road can isolate the resort corridor for extended periods. For families with medical needs, that isolation is a genuine safety variable. The nearest hospital with pediatric emergency capacity requires navigating that access road to reach Cancun's private medical facilities. 45 minutes under normal conditions, significantly longer when the corridor is congested. The resort's security model is strong within the property. The world outside the perimeter, however, falls within Quintana Roo State's Security Advisory Zone. Quintana Roo carries a U.S. State Department Level 2 advisory with specific language about crime in tourist areas. Several serious incidents, including armed robberies targeting tourists, have occurred within the wider corridor in the past 3 years. Children who wander beyond the resort's perimeter enter that security environment without the resort's protective infrastructure around them, and it happens more frequently at large properties than parents anticipate. The next resort has no isolation problem. It sits in one of the most densely serviced tourist corridors in Mexico, and somehow that density of service has produced a guest experience that family travelers consistently describe with a single word: overwhelming. Number 11. Iberostar Selection, Cancun, Cancun. Hotel Zone, Quintana Roo. The Iberostar Selection. Cancun is a large, professionally managed property in the heart of the Cancun Hotel Zone. Its beach is on the Caribbean side of the hotel strip, which means genuine turquoise water rather than the murky lagoon-facing alternative. The children's programming is extensive. The entertainment team is active. The physical product is maintained to a standard that the Iberostar brand consistently delivers across its portfolio. The problem is scale. The Iberostar Selection Cancun has over 300 rooms. At capacity, which the property reaches regularly during peak season, the pool areas, beach zones, beach chair inventory, and specialty restaurant reservation systems all operate under crowd pressure. A family of 4 with children under 12 experiences this as exhausting rather than relaxing. The buffet at peak breakfast service processes hundreds of guests simultaneously. The main pool on a holiday weekend contains so many people that water temperature rises measurably above the ambient sea temperature. The beach chair situation requires the same early morning claiming behavior that defines every large Cancun all-inclusive. Guests who are not at the beach by 7 in the morning find no chairs available under umbrellas in the prime zone. Beyond the crowd mechanics, the Cancun Hotel Zone Security Advisory applies here as it applies to every property in the corridor. Several incidents, including robberies inside or immediately adjacent to hotel zone properties, have been documented within the past 3 years. And now, we are into the resorts that start to tell a genuinely different story. The next property has none of the Iberostar's crowd problems. It is smaller, more intimate, and the specific problem it has is one that took families completely by surprise because it involves something they booked specifically for their children. Number 10. Azul Beach Resort, Puerto Morelos, Quintana Roo. Azul Beach Resort. Puerto Morelos markets itself on a specific promise: an intimate, boutique alternative to the mega resorts of the Cancun corridor. A family focus, a quiet beach setting, and the charm of the Puerto Morelos community adjacent to it. That promise is genuine in its intent. the execution has a specific and well-documented failure point: sargassum. The Puerto Morelos coastline is one of the most affected sections of the Quintana Roo coast for sargassum seaweed accumulation. The brown algae bloom that has affected the Caribbean coast of Mexico unpredictably since approximately 2015. During peak accumulation periods, which can occur anytime between April and October and last for weeks at a stretch, the beach in front of Azul Beach Resort is covered in decomposing sargassum. The smell of hydrogen sulfide from decomposing algae is genuinely unpleasant. Ocean swimming becomes effectively impossible. For families who booked specifically for beach and ocean access, a sargassum event that coincides with their travel dates is a trip-defining disappointment. The resort cannot control sargassum. No resort on this section of coastline can, but the booking platforms that sell Azul Beach Resort consistently fail to communicate the sargassum risk in a way that gives families the information they need to make an informed decision. If this level of specific, family-focused resort intelligence is what your travel planning has been missing, hit the like button right now. This channel exists to surface the information that booking platforms bury and resort marketing ignores. Hitting like takes 1 second and helps us reach every family currently planning a Mexican resort trip with this video before they commit to something they will regret. The next resort has no sargassum exposure. It sits on the Pacific side of Mexico in a state that carries a security designation that should immediately disqualify it from any family travel consideration. And yet it appears regularly on family travel recommendation lists because its physical product is genuinely beautiful. Number 9. Dreams. Huatulco Resort, Huatulco, Oaxaca. Dreams. Huatulco sits in the Santa Cruz Bay within Huatulco's 9-bay protected coastline system in Oaxaca State. The physical setting is genuinely extraordinary. Protected bay swimming, clean water, and a resort product that the AMR Collection brand delivers consistently across its portfolio. The concern here is specific and involves a 2023 development in Oaxaca State's security situation. Oaxaca State received an elevated security warning from the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City in 2023. Citing cartel-related violence in specific corridors of the state, Huatulco's immediate resort zone has not been directly affected by the incidents that generated those warnings. But the airport road between Bajías de Huatulco International Airport and the resort zone passes through territory covered by the broader advisory. For families arriving with children after a long international travel day, navigating an airport transfer through a zone under elevated security advisory represents a risk exposure that begins before the resort's security perimeter provides any protection. The pediatric medical situation in Huatulco is also a meaningful planning variable. The Hospital General de Huatulco handles basic emergencies. Serious pediatric cases requiring specialist intervention mean transfer to Oaxaca City over 3 hours by road, or air evacuation to Mexico City. For families traveling with children who have any pre-existing medical condition, that evacuation timeline belongs in the decision-making process before the booking is made. The next resort is in a state with a much more stable security profile, but the specific problem it has is one that families discover only after they arrive, and by then, the financial commitment is already made. Number 8. Sandos. Finisterre, Los Cabos, Cabo San Lucas, BCS. Sandos. Finisterre Los Cabos occupies a dramatic hillside position above the Cabo San Lucas Marina. Views that are genuinely among the most spectacular available from any Mexican resort property. The Pacific and the Sea of Cortez visible from the same terrace. The arch at Land's End framed in the middle distance. Those views are real, and they are extraordinary. What is also real is that the property's hillside position means that most of the resort's guest experience involves navigating significant elevation changes. The path between the upper rooms and the beach requires either a golf cart shuttle or a staircase descent. For families traveling with strollers, young children, or grandparents with mobility considerations, this is genuinely problematic. The beach itself, consistent with the Los Cabos corridor, is not safe for swimming. Pacific shore break and rip current conditions apply here as they apply to every Los Cabos property. The resort's pool is the primary aquatic venue for families, and the pool capacity relative to the property's room count means that peak season families compete for space in a venue that was not sized for the volume it serves. The Cabo San Lucas downtown location also exposes the resort to the spring break dynamic. From late February through April, the Cabo Corridor operates in a mode that is categorically inappropriate for family travel. The Sandos Finistera's proximity to the downtown entertainment zone amplifies that exposure. The next entry is the one that will generate the most debate. It is one of the most recognized resort brands in Mexico, and it carries one of the most aggressive marketing presences in the American family travel space. Number 7. Fiesta Americana, Grand Coral Beach, Cancun, Quintana Roo. The Fiesta Americana Grand Coral Beach is a Cancun landmark. The property occupies one of the finest beachfront positions in the hotel zone. Its coral pink towers visible from the length of the Kukulkan Boulevard. The product is premium by Mexican resort standards. The Fiesta Americana brand carries decades of hospitality credibility behind its positioning. The concern here is not about the property's quality. It is about the price premium the brand commands relative to what it delivers in the family travel category specifically. The Fiesta Americana Grand Coral Beach is not an all-inclusive property. It operates on a room-only basis with food and beverage available at a la carte prices that reflect the brand's luxury positioning. A family of 4 spending 5 nights and eating 3 meals daily at the resort's restaurants will spend significantly more on food and beverage than the room rate implied in their initial booking. The per-meal cost at the resort's primary restaurant runs between $40 and $80 per person. The surrounding hotel zone's better restaurants deliver comparable food at $20 to $40 with a more genuine culinary character. For families who arrive expecting an all-inclusive experience, the first day's food and beverage bill produces a sticker shock that colors the entire remaining stay. The Cancun Hotel Zone Security Advisory applies here as it does to every property in the corridor. The next entry is where the family noise problem begins in earnest. And this one involves an issue hiding inside the booking itself. Number 6. Paradisus Playa del Carmen, Playa del Carmen, Quintana Roo. Paradisus Playa del Carmen operates as a dual resort complex. The La Perla Adults Preferred section and the La Esmeralda Family section share infrastructure, beach access, and grounds. That shared infrastructure is the specific source of the family experience problem here. Families booked into La Esmeralda find themselves adjacent to an adults preferred property whose pool and beach areas operate with a volume and character that is incompatible with the family environment the La Esmeralda booking implied. The noise levels from the La Perla entertainment infrastructure carry into the La Esmeralda family zones. Parents of young children consistently cite this in reviews as the primary disappointment of their stay. Beyond the shared infrastructure issue, the Playa del Carmen location carries the Quintana Roo security context. The Fifth Avenue corridor immediately adjacent to the resort complex has experienced documented security incidents, including the 2017 Blue Parrot nightclub shooting that killed 5 people within walking distance of where families are strolling with children. That incident is historical. The security environment that produced it is not. The next resort carries no Fifth Avenue adjacency. Its problem is simpler and more immediately physical, and it involves something that families discover the moment they try to put their children to bed. Number 5. Presidente Intercontinental Cozumel Resort, Cozumel, Quintana Roo. The Presidente Intercontinental Cozumel is frequently cited as the finest resort on Cozumel Island. By several objective measures, that citation is accurate. The diving access is extraordinary. The Mesoamerican Barrier Reef is directly offshore, and the resort's dive operation is one of the most professionally managed on the island. The beach is calm, clear, and genuinely swimmable, unlike the Pacific-facing beaches of the Los Cabos corridor. The property's physical condition is excellent. The problem is noise. Cozumel's cruise ship schedule brings between 3 and 5 large vessels to the island daily during peak season. The San Miguel port area generates industrial and vessel noise during those arrivals and departures. That noise is audible from the resort during ship operations. More significantly, the island's nightlife corridor generates sound that carries across Cozumel's relatively flat terrain with minimal attenuation. Families with young children who require early bedtimes and quiet sleeping environments consistently cite noise as the primary factor preventing them from recommending this resort, despite its excellence in every other category. For families where noise is not a primary concern and diving is the central activity, the Presidente Intercontinental delivers a genuinely outstanding experience. For families with children under 8 who need consistent sleep schedules and quiet evenings, the noise environment is a meaningful and predictable problem. The next resort is where this list finally turns a corner. From here, every entry passed the test that the previous 10 failed. Number 4. Secrets, Moxche, Playa del Carmen, Quintana Roo. Secrets Moxche opened in 2022 and represents the most recent addition to the AMR collection portfolio in the Quintana Roo corridor. The property was designed from the ground up as a premium all-inclusive, with construction standards that reflect current rather than historical building codes and hospitality design principles. Secrets. Moxche has a sister property, Breathless Riviera Cancun, connected by shuttle. This allows families to access the full AMR collection, dining and amenity program across both properties. The Playa del Carmen location places the resort within 15 minutes of Medica Sur Playa del Carmen, a private hospital with pediatric emergency capacity and international standard medical equipment. For families with children who have pre-existing medical conditions, that 15-minute window is the finest emergency access time of any resort on this list so far. The beach here is Caribbean-facing, which means calm, clear water, without the Pacific shore break that disqualifies the Los Cabos corridor for family beach swimming. Booking with a flexible cancellation policy and checking Quintana Roo's Sargassum monitoring in the 2 weeks before travel is the specific risk management approach that makes this coastline manageable for family bookings. The next resort carries the finest all-inclusive product quality in Mexico and the most serious price point to match it. Number 3. Grand Velas Riviera Maya, Playa del Carmen, Quintana Roo. Grand Velas Riviera Maya is the finest all-inclusive property in Mexico by most objective quality measures. The suite-only room inventory means that every family unit has genuine living space rather than a compressed hotel room. The Kids Club operates with a staff-to-child ratio that the brand's management team has maintained as a non-negotiable quality standard across its properties. The dining program covers 9 restaurants with genuine culinary ambition, not the buffet and 2 specialty restaurant structure that defines most Mexican all-inclusive properties. The resort's security infrastructure includes its own medical clinic staffed by a physician and nursing team, with the capability to manage pediatric emergencies while coordinating transfer to the nearest specialist facility. That on-site medical capacity is available at very few all-inclusive properties in Mexico. It represents a meaningful safety advantage for families with children who have pre-existing medical conditions or who travel with older family members. The price point is the honest limitation here. Grand Velas Riviera Maya starts at approximately $800 to $1,000 per night for a family suite during peak season. That rate is not accessible to every family budget. For families where the budget accommodates it, Grand Velas delivers a safety, quality, and family service combination that no other resort on the Quintana Roo corridor matches. The next resort operates at a more accessible price point and delivers something that the luxury end of the market frequently fails to provide: a physical environment actually designed for children from the ground up. Number 2. Moon Palace Cancun, Quintana Roo. Moon Palace Cancun is the largest family all-inclusive on the Quintana Roo coast, and the one that most consistently receives the highest family-specific satisfaction ratings from parents who have traveled with children under 12. The distinction between Moon Palace and the large Cancun all-inclusives earlier on this list is specific. Moon Palace was designed for families as the primary customer, not as a secondary demographic added to a property designed for couples. The Kids Club operates in a dedicated facility with age-separated programming for toddlers, children, and teenagers. The water park is an on-property facility rather than a shared amenity, sized and staffed for the property's family volume. The beach zone is divided into sections with depth and current markers that allow parents to identify safe waiting areas for young children. The security perimeter is among the most comprehensive of any Cancun hotel zone property, a gated access system that controls vehicle and pedestrian entry to a degree that larger mixed-use properties cannot replicate. Medical access here benefits from the Moon Palace's proximity to the Cancun private hospital network. Hospital Amerimed Cancun, located within the hotel zone, is 15 minutes from the resort. It provides pediatric emergency care, obstetric services, and the international patient infrastructure that families traveling from the United States benefit from in terms of insurance coordination. The rate for a family suite at Moon Palace during peak season runs between $400 and $700 per night, all-inclusive, representing genuinely strong value relative to the family experience the property delivers. One resort remains, and it earns the top position because it does something that no other resort on this list manages. It places your family inside a security environment so fundamentally different from everything above it that the comparison almost belongs in a different category. Number 1. Banyan Tree, Mayacoba, Playa del Carmen, Quintana Roo. The Mayacoba development sits on a 3-square-kilometer ecological reserve between the Federal Highway 307 and the Caribbean coast, north of Playa del Carmen. It is not a hotel, it is a managed ecosystem ecosystem, within which 4 distinct resort properties operate as separately managed brands: Banyan Tree, Fairmont, Rosewood, and Andaz, sharing conservation infrastructure, security systems, and environmental governance. The Banyan Tree Mayakoba is the most family-oriented of the 4 properties within the development, and it earns the top position on this list for reasons that go beyond the quality of its own operation. The Mayakoba development's security model is the most sophisticated available at any Mexican resort destination. The reserve's perimeter is managed by a dedicated security operation that controls all vehicle and pedestrian access to the entire development. The internal canal system, the nature trails, and the beach access zones within the reserve are monitored continuously. The result is a physical security environment that functions at a level qualitatively different from the hotel security that every other resort on this list provides. The ecological reserve itself functions as a protective buffer between the family environment and the federal highway corridor that surrounds it, a buffer that no single resort's perimeter can replicate on its own. For families, the Mayakoba's medical access is among the finest of any Mexican resort destination. The development's own medical facility handles emergencies with physician-staffed capacity, and the proximity to Playa del Carmen's Medica Sur facility and to Cancun's full private hospital network means that specialist pediatric care is accessible within timeframes that meet international emergency response standards. The Banyan Tree's family villas provide genuinely private accommodation within the reserve. Pool villas that allow children to swim in a secure, controlled environment, without the crowd dynamics that affect every large all-inclusive property on this list. The rate for a family villa at Banyan Tree Mayakoba during peak season starts at approximately $1,200 per night. That rate is at the upper boundary of the luxury family travel market. What it purchases is not just a room, it is a security environment, a medical infrastructure, an ecological setting, and a family experience framework, the kind that the rest of the Mexican resort market at any price point does not replicate. The safest family resort in Mexico is not the most advertised. It is the one built on a foundation that places conservation, security, and environmental integrity above volume, marketing, and the short-term economics that drive every large all-inclusive above it on this list. Banyan Tree Mayakoba is that foundation, and for families who can access it, it represents the benchmark against which every other Mexican family resort should be measured. Thanks for watching. If this breakdown changed even one resort on your family's Mexico booking list, drop it in the comments right now. Tell us which resort you are removing and which one you are considering instead. We read every single comment and we answer as many as we can. For more family travel safety breakdowns covering Caribbean all-inclusives, European family destinations, and Southeast Asia with children, click the next video on the left. We will see you there.